Welcome and study with Tanzania Institute of Education.
Hello pupils, I'm Elias Omari. I will be with you about mathematics, and then we are going to deal with simple linear equations. Let me sketch something here about linear equations. This is just like a balance. And then we are going to check what does it mean, an equation. In these simple linear equations, the characteristics, we are talking about characteristics of linear equations. Characteristics of simple linear equations. According to this one, number one, the linear equation should have two sides. It must have two sides. Should have two sides. What are those sides? Those sides, one is left-hand side, and another one is a left-hand side, a right-hand side. So these are the sides of our equation. So this is the first characteristic. This is known as left-hand side, and this one is right-hand side. It's just like a balance. And then number two, the value of these two sides must be equal. So values of these sides must be equal. It means left-hand side equals to right-hand side. And the third characteristic is about these two sides. These two sides are separated by equal sign. So the linear equation should have two sides, the left-hand side and the right-hand side. And equal sign, it means this is where the equal sign is. So the value of the left-hand side must be equal to the value of the right-hand side. Number two, another thing here, we have to we have to discuss about types of simple linear equations. Types of simple linear equations. Simple linear equations divided into many groups. So I'm going to start with the first group. The first group is called, or is known as, solving linear equations involving addition and subtraction. So on this type, let us check those examples. Solve example 1. Solve for what? For x. Let's say I have x plus 3 then is equal to 6. This is a linear equations. Dear pupils, have you seen those sides which I've already talked? How many sides do we have, pupils? How many sides? We have 2 sides. So this one, this is called left hand side, and this is a right hand side. So we need to solve this one in order to these sides to be equal. So before solving this one, there are something we should talk about. This a variable. X is a variable. If x is a variable, x must be isolated. What does the word isolate means? It means this x should be alone, and this 3 should be shifted to another side. So when the variable x is alone, it means we are going to get the value of this x. So let's check by using, let us solve this one. It is x. We have x here. And here we have different methods on solving these equations. We have common method, which is used by many textbooks, and we have another method which is not common, and then that method is very easy and is the shortest one. Let me start with the common method. It is x, which is this one, plus, then you are going to add plus 3. Let me use my card here, plus 3, and then equals to 6. I've said about involving addition. Here, addition is here. This is equation involving addition only. We're not talking about a subtraction. We started with addition. So in order of this equation to balance, we need to isolate x. It means x must be alone. Variable x must be alone. Let me put this one. If x is going to remain here, and then we need to remain with x. How are we going to remove this one? In order to remove this, you have to check how can you remove this one. You have 30. In order this one to be 0, because it's addition, in order to remove this one, we need to take away. We need to minus. So here is going to be x plus this 3 plus 3, and then we are going to minus again 3. When you take 3 minus 3, then you are going to remain with x. Then we are going to subtract both sides of the equation. After taking away here 3 minus 3, also here you need to minus 3. So we say subtract 3 both sides. Then here, after subtracting here, is going to be 0. And then we are going to remain with x. After remaining with x, also here will be 6 minus 3. So what will be the answer here, pupils? Yes, it will be 3. So already equation solved, because x has already isolated. Example number 2. X plus 1 then is equal to 3. It's the same. We are adding. You have to ask yourself before doing this, is variable isolated? Is variable alone? Let me use alone. No. Why? Why is not alone? Because there is a numerator, which is 1. So this one must be alone. Then when this is alone, it means the equation is solved. So how can we do that? So we take x plus 1 is equal to 3. How can we remove this 1? Because 1 is positive. In order to remove this one, because it's addition, you need to subtract. If the equation is dealing with addition, so you are subtracting here. So you take x plus 1 as it is here, minus 1, and then to another side also it will be 3 minus 1. It means subtract 1 both sides. Okay, 1 minus 1, class, 1 minus 1, 0. Good. So it will be x. So here on the left hand side we are going to remain with x. Then what will be the answer on the right hand side? So it will be 3 minus 2. 3 minus 1, it's 2. So the equation has already solved. So this that one is method 1. Let us check method 2. Number 3, I'm going to use another method. I think that one is very simple compared to the first method. Okay, let me do the first one. Here, let me write method 2. X plus 3 then is equal to 6. Please just observe this equation. You need to remain with a variable. What is a variable here? A variable is a letter, which is x. So if you want to remain with a variable, you have to remove 3. Okay? So let us do it. X plus 3 then is equal to 6. So use arrows. You need to shift. You are taking this to another side. You have to take 3 to another side. There is no repetition, minus 3, minus 3. No, you are doing only once, and then you are going to get the answer as fast as possible. So here you are going to remain, because you are removing 3. Remember, you are taking 3 to another side. So when a number, any number or a letter is shifting to another side of an equation, of an equal sign, the sign is going to change. If it was positive, it's going to be negative. If it was plus, it's going to be subtraction. What is the sign of this numeral, class? I think is positive. So we are shifting it. It's crossing this sign. So we are going to remain with a variable, which is x. So to be equal to 6, because 3 is going to another side, is following number 6. So 6 is going to be the first. The number which follow is going to follow. Okay? So this one was shifting, it was positive, so it will be minus 3. Then x is 3. I think the same answer. Class, which is better or which is easy? That one or this one? I think you are going to choose yourself. Yeah. Let us continue with another examples. We dealt with the numbers only which are not decimals or fractions. I'm going to add some questions, examples. Let's say you have given x plus 2.8 is equal to 8.4. This is a decimal. It's just an equation because it has 2 parts, left-hand sides and right-hand side. And then there is a variable. We are looking for a variable. So the first thing, check about a variable. Is a variable isolated? No. Why? Because there is another numeral. You need to remain with x alone. If x is alone or a variable is alone, it means you have already solved the equations. Therefore, x plus 2.8 is equal to 8.4. I'm going to use the second method. Then check, collect like terms. Which terms are alike? Numerals. So the number which this one, in order to remain with a variable, it means 2.8 is going to be shifted to another side. So if you are shifting this one, please check what is the sign of that number which you are taking to another side. What is the sign here? It's positive. It means it's going to be subtracted. The opposite of positive to be minus. So to be x is equal to 8.4. You are taking this to another side, minus 2.8. Then x, you can do somewhere 8.4, 2.8, and then 7 here, 14, you borrow 1 there, 14, what, 6, and then 7 minus this, 5. So to be 5.6. So the variable is isolated. The variable is alone. So we have already solved the equation. Let us continue with another questions dealing with subtractions. Number 5, question number 5. I'm doing the same but different signs. X minus 3 then is equal to 6. So this one, we are using the second method, which is very simple. We need to use simple method in order to get the answer quickly. So you have to copy again the question. X minus 3 is equal to 6. Check. is a variable isolated, or is a variable x alone? No, it's not alone. So you need to make it alone. How can you make it alone? It means we have a numeral, which is 3. So 3 must be shifted to another side. So draw an arrow here to indicate that is moving, that 3 is moving to another side. Then do not forget what is the sign of that number. It is minus, or it is -3, -3. So when this -3 is going to another side, is crossing this equal sign, the sign is going to change. So the sign will be +3. Then x will be equal to 9. Very, very easy. Another one. Let me do a fraction now. Let's say you have y minus 1/8, then the answer is 2/8. So what is the first step here? Just observe. Is a variable y isolated? No, it's not isolated. So you need to make it alone. How can you make it alone? You have to shift the numeral, which is on the left-hand side, to the right-hand side. So here, y minus 1/8 is equal to 2/8. So we are shifting this to another side. This arrow means this 1/8 is moving to another side. So here will be y is equal to, this is 8, 2/8. So if it's 2/8 and this 1/8 is shifting to another side and the sign is minus, so it's going to be added there. So it will be +1/8. So the answer here is going to be, I think you still remember about adding fractions of the same denominators. You just take a denominator here, which is 8, and then you add the numerator, 2 + 1, which is 3. So the equation has already solved. So the variable is on the left-hand side, the variable y is alone, so the answer is 3/8. 6, example number 6. Let us do a decimal. Let's p minus 4.2 then is equal to, let's say, 6.4. Sorry, 6.4. Copy again. Copy it. I'm copying 4.2, 6.4. Check the variable p. Is a variable p isolated? Is a variable p alone? No, it's not alone. So make it alone. How can you make it alone? You need to shift numeral 4.2 to another side. So we have to shift it by using the arrow. Okay? So here you are going to remain with p. So if here is going to remain variable p, then here it will be 6.4 minus the number which is shifting to another side, which is 4.2. So what is the sign of 4.2? Is minus. So it's shifting, it's crossing this sign. So the sign is going to be the opposite of negative. It will be positive. So you are going to add 4.2. Okay, let's add here. 6.4 plus 4.2. You are going to get what? 6 and then 10. So P is equal to P this one already. P is equal to 10.6. I think pupils, you have enjoyed the lesson. I have given you different examples, different method, which one is better, which one takes longer than other. So it's up to you to select or to use the best method, the quickest method in order to reach the answer. Let me give you some questions to do as a homework. Thank you, pupils. I've shown you different methods on solving linear equations involving addition and subtractions. So it's up to you to select which method is better for you. Okay, and then I'm going to leave the questions which will pop on your screen. Thank you very much. I'm Elias Omari. See you next lesson.